Yo, guys, what's going on? Welcome back to the CW Clinic, episode 79. We're going to talk about unfucking your goals today.
Yes.
And let me introduce my... Are you officially a co-host?
I don't know, dude. Maybe.
Let's talk about this. So, as everyone knows, downtimeTV is not only producing the show, but doing a lot of other things, too. And Mike has a microphone.
I do.
So
you just wanted me to have it the last time, so I just figured we'd do it again.
Okay.
And I like being back here.
I think...
I like all the cameras on you, too.
There's a lot of cameras on me.
Yeah.
I kind of like it, though.
Yeah, me too.
I feel special. How many do you have?
None on me. Oh, total?
Yeah.
We have 6.
How many are on you?
0.
How many are on me?
4. 5.
5. Okay. Oh, shit. Yeah. So I think that having someone else on a microphone is definitely important when it comes to shows. So I thank you for everything you do.
And I appreciate you too, man.
Yeah.
It goes both ways.
It does.
You know?
Like a good relationship.
Yeah.
It's interesting how that works, right?
I know. It actually can happen.
Yeah.
Wow.
It can happen. I think it's really important to have expectations and boundaries, but when you come into a relationship, never ever think about what you can take from that person. Always think about what you can give that person. Mm-hmm. And that's where it starts. And if both people are trying to help each other fully.
It's actually funny you say that because I said it earlier today on the Techstar thing that we did. I literally said because these other podcasters, they asked like, what's the struggle in the beginning?
Yeah.
Like, you know, the struggle obviously is, I said, keeping your team motivated.
Yeah.
Actually was my first thing. Mm-hmm. But my second thing was showing love to everybody else, commenting on everybody else's, sharing everybody else's thing instead of competing with people. There's 6, 7, 8 billion people in the world. I don't know. I don't even know anymore.
Yeah.
We shouldn't be competing. It should be love.
Win together also.
Right.
Winning together is always fun. When your whole team, your whole crew, your whole staff, whatever it is, your whole family, when everyone's winning, everybody's that much happier.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
Yeah, so
what'd you do this weekend?
Oh, very good. Very good. It's a good segue. What is it, Friday?
Yes.
What did I do this past weekend?
I mean, sorry.
I cut
it feels
down,
like the weekend with the snowstorm.
I know. I cut down the Christmas tree for my mom, but then I found out it was my Christmas tree.
Yeah, explain that story.
So guys, like there's been many years in my life where I can't be home for Christmas, you know, because I'm living outside of the country.
Right.
In Iraq specifically. So my mom takes it very seriously that I come over for the holidays. You understand? And one of the things that I have to do is I have to cut her Christmas tree down every year. She's not going to Home Depot. She's not buying one that's cut. We have to walk the Christmas tree farm, and I have to cut down hers and mine normally.
Yeah.
And I have to have like a bow saw. I can't have like a sawzall.
Yeah. Because
she was making fun of the guy who brought the sawzall out. And I was like, Mom, he's smart.
Yeah.
You know, I'm like on the ground sawing the tree. So that was this weekend. Yeah.
That's great.
Yeah. Go ahead.
But no, I see. The reason why I said weekend is because we had something happen Wednesday.
Yeah.
And it made it feel like a weekend.
It kind of did. I went to Boston Tuesday night. I hung out with some friends there. And then I woke up at 4 o'clock in the morning during the nor'easter, during the actual nor'easter, when it was like 45 mile an hour gusts and when the foot of snow was falling. I was in Boston. I was in Southie, if you're familiar, and I was parked about 6 blocks away from where I was. So it was quite an interesting journey to my car at about 4:45 in the morning, but I had to get west across Massachusetts to the hill I was going to snowboard, Jiminy Peak. I was going to go to Butternut, if you're familiar, but Butternut wasn't open, so I ended up at Jiminy Peak, and they got about 18 to 20 inches of snow. Driving across Massachusetts in the nor'easter was quite interesting.
Your car held up?
Yeah, I had a near-death moment where I was going about 70, 75 downhill, and I was coming over a bridge. And sure enough, there was ice on the bridge. And my car broke sideways at about 70 in the nor'easter. There was probably, I don't know, 3 to 4 inches of snow on the ground. And just like the way that I describe it is, I felt like a child in a Formula One car. The truck broke out sideways, started sliding, and then all of a sudden my dashboard lit up green and the traction control came on and straightened me right back out.
Stop it.
And just kept going straight.
Stop it.
Just pulled me straight.
Shout out Porsche.
Shout out fucking Porsche.
Holy shit.
I was quite happy.
Are you sure you're not driving a Transformer?
I'll tell you, man, driving this car, like with the adaptive cruise control and like lane protection, it won't let you veer. It doesn't drive itself, but the computers make it very easy to drive.
Right.
Very, very easy to drive. And I was very happy that I got to the hill at 9 a.m. So it took me about 4 hours to drive across Massachusetts, which is normally 2 hours. And I got to the hill and I did some snowboarding with my friends. And I hadn't actually used my snowboard that I wanted to and had the opportunity to because of all the powder. So at the end of 2019, I bought a snowboard that was built for just powder. And
yeah, you're good.
okay.
Sorry,
No, it's okay. No. And I never got to use it all last year because there was no snow, right? It was just little snow drops here and there, 2 inches, 3 inches. So I bought a powder board, which is designed just to go over large dumps of powder, like a foot.
Like what we just...
Yeah, like a foot and a half.
Like
Thank you. Thank you for bringing me back in there.
Yeah, you're good.
And I got on it, and it's a really high-end board out of Austria. It has like carbon fiber down the center for it because I weigh over 200 pounds, and it's built for big guys.
Right.
And within the first 20 minutes, we just ducked the ropes that you're not supposed to, which are double black diamonds running down like gorges. And we hit a cliff immediately, and it was like a 15-foot drop.
Did you know it was going to be there?
Yeah. We saw it on the chairlift on the way up, and I plotted my line. Someone had already gone down it, and it was like a 15-foot drop, but I hit it at probably 10 miles an hour, so I ended up going 30, maybe 40 feet before I dropped. That was within the first 30 minutes.
See, but that's like, isn't that beautiful?
It is.
When you're up there?
Yeah. Absolutely. And I was like surfing.
Yeah.
The board it felt like a boat.
Yeah.
It was wide and short, but still flexible enough to jump and spin.
See, that's a great board.
Very.
And that's why I stopped skiing, to be honest, in my youth, because there's just too much shit.
Yeah.
You know, with the sticks and the two things, and it's like,
yeah.
Then when I progressed to being a cool kid and snowboarding,
yeah.
Longboards, I figured out the hard way, I should say, is
Yeah. Yeah. I'm not a great longboarder. However, I've been snowboarding for like 25 years. So going back to snowboarding, by the afternoon, the powder was pretty much packed down from everyone being there. So I switched to I call it my party board. It's built specifically for terrain park. And all you have to do is like pop it and you're a foot and a half in the air. It just launches you. It's like a springboard.
See, that's fun.
It's a springboard, and it's double-ended, so I can ride it, goofy or
regular.
Or a switch. The powder board doesn't have a back end, so when I would bring it goofy, because I can ride goofy pretty well, when I'd bring it goofy, it was weird because I had all tail and no nose. It was like a rudder.
Yeah.
So I really didn't like it too much.
That is kind of weird.
I kept it pretty much front side the whole day, but it was a really good time. So that was the past 2 days for me.
Nice.
Did you build any snowmen?
No, I did not. No, I did not. I shoveled though. I did shovel, and I got a lot of work done, dude. I was cranking, like personal, and obviously your stuff too, and other people's stuff. It was just, I don't know. I've hit an energy. I told the team, like, I got this energy that's just making me go crazy, motivated.
Yeah, you're vibing.
Yeah.
You know, good. What's up?
What's Matt saying? We should tell them there's people here too.
Oh yeah,
you have another audience.
Who's in the room, Mike?
We have Tony, Paula, and Mateo.
My lifeguard guy just called me that.
Oh, for real?
Mm-hmm.
When he was in lifeguard, they used to call him that, Mateo. That's funny.
Mateo was the guy I was spotting in my last. Is that a trailer? Is that what I would call? Is that what I would call what you produced us working out?
Oh yeah.
Is that a trailer?
I would say a little promo.
Promo.
Yeah.
That's who I was spotting.
Yeah.
In the promo.
Yeah, with long hair. He had long hair at the time.
Yeah. Then he got a haircut.
Yes.
Yeah. Just like the snow will be gone, so will the hair.
Yes. But so you did that, and now I think we should get to the juice.
Yeah, let's get to the juice. You know what? Let me use producing a podcast as one of the examples of goal setting.
Yeah.
Because
I think that's great.
That's what you were talking about, right? Before the show.
Yeah.
And like how all over the place it is.
Yeah.
So, guys, last week we talked about setting goals. I think it's important to set goals in 3 different categories of your life, at least: personal, business, and relationship. And today we're going to kind of like touch on, now that you have these goals set is how to reverse engineer to accomplish it, or in my words, unfuck your goals. All right. So I think what most people kind of really get hung up on is when we set goals, it's very easy to fail or make mistakes. And however, failing and making mistakes, it really depends on how you look at those 2 topics of failing and making mistakes. You know, I was raised, if I made a mistake or did something wrong, like my dad would like hit me. Not like my dad would beat me up, but I'd get slapped across the ass or like,
yeah,
you know, especially if I made mistakes. So it's negative reinforcement, right? Negative reinforcement when it comes to making a mistake. Like, Chris, you're going to get beat if you do that wrong. Negative reinforcement does work. However, it's not optimal when it comes to training the mind.
Yeah.
It's pretty on display with dogs. Like, give dog food. It does what you want. Positive reinforcement. Well, it's the same with humans, right? You know, what I find is when you look at a mistake as an opportunity area to learn, or even big failures as something that just kind of comes with it, the key is staying consistent. And the first step is just, even if you fail your goal, like let's use a personal goal of losing 20 pounds, right? We know that you want to lose 20 pounds in a year. Okay, so that's roughly half a pound a week. Or if you do a pound a week, it's going to take you about 6 months to lose that weight. If your pace is 1 pound per week, right? So that would take you 20 weeks, which is give or take half a year, right? If you factor in mistakes and variables, okay?
Cheat days.
It happens.
Yeah.
It fucking happens.
Always.
Like, I think the 80-20 rule is important when it comes to nutrition. I mean, I practice like 95-5, but I'm dialed in right now. If I'm loose, or what's good for a lot of people is understanding that you're gonna go out, you're gonna have some fun, you're gonna overeat, you're definitely gonna overdrink. People don't realize that liquid calories are still calories, and if you're over your calorie mark, you're over your calorie mark, whether it's fucking Jameson or rice, you know.
Yep.
So the point is, let's use that as the example of, okay, it's the new year, you want to lose 20 pounds. You know, fucking awesome. So you want to lose 1 pound a week. You know, you go on Google, you ask Google. Google tells you, okay, you weigh 50 pounds, and this is how many calories you need to eat. I mean, whatever Google tells you is going to be at least a good baseline, right? I mean, you could always reach out to someone who understands nutrition or coaches people. I've been crunching macros and calories for free for people for over a decade. You could just reach out to me. I mean, I'll tell you where your calories need to be. It's pretty simple. The hard part's executing it, right? So say you're doing really good for, say, the first 2 weeks, and then, you know, you go over your family's house and they have food out and you want to eat it and you overeat and your stomach hurts. Shit like that's going to happen. Now, that doesn't mean that you kind of just dismiss it and go back to eating how you did, but you can look at it like, all right, I made a mistake. I need to get right back on it. And then the next day you wake up, or maybe later when you go home and you're still hungry, you just eat how you were programmed to eat, or make that healthy choice rather than overeating. And I think understanding that the mistake is just an area to learn that, all right, well, when I go out in a social setting around my family, I'm probably going to have the inclination to overeat. And you can recognize your own patterns. And depending on how you want to do it, you either overeat or know that that's going to get in the way of your goal. For instance, if a fitness competitor is listening to this and they're competing for a show or something along those lines, like maybe mixed martial artists that need to hit a weight, you would need to know your triggers around overeating, which is psychological, fundamentally speaking, and you can use your mistakes as proactively not putting yourself in those positions again. So there's no right or wrong way of doing it, but the key is understanding that once you make the mistake, that it's okay, understand why the mistake happened, and use it to move forward. I've discussed how to make mistakes on this show for years. And the point is, it's an opportunity to grow, and you can just get right back on your goal of eating correctly the next day, right? And keep going. So honestly, that's what I think it is. What do you think?
Goal setting and executing?
No,
them?
like if you make the mistake.
Oh, if you make the mistake, you can't harp on it. You can't, because you know what that does? That makes you sulk in it, and then you're in that mindset.
Right.
So it's going to be easier to go back to your old habits. If you just look at it as like, all right, I fucked up, and like you said, why did I fuck up? Next time I go to my family's dinner, I'm going to be conscious.
Yep.
I overeat at these things.
Yeah.
So I'm going to try to eat less this time.
Right.
And then and that's what you do. And then the next time it's less. And then the next time it's less. And it's okay. It's okay. You know, people, they just get caught up in that. And I feel like they make things worse for themselves when it could have just been nipped in the bud.
Yeah. And that's the key, right? So we're talking about goal setting. The key is to just be consistent. Like mistakes are going to happen. Failures are going to happen. And just be consistent. You know, we were talking prior, meaning like being consistent. It's like, even when it's hard, even when you want to give up, even when you're like, fuck, should I just not be on my diet anymore? You really have to dig deep and understand, why did you want to do it in the first place? Like, why did you want to lose the 20 pounds? Do you want to feel better? Mm-hmm. Shouldn't that be your thought process rather than, should I give up? Because it's harder to stay consistent, at least in the beginning, you know? You know, if you flip the tables around, it's hard for me to be inconsistent. Mm-hmm. Like, I'm not inconsistent. But it was really hard for me to get to that point. Mm-hmm. So it's easy to give up. It's easy to pick the easy route. It's easy to pick the smooth road. Last show, we talked about the rocky road, the road that's hardest for you to get down. That's where the growth lies. And that road doesn't know if you make a mistake or you fail along the way. It just, the road keeps going and you keep traveling it. And that's where the growth comes in, like learning that you might have a trigger around your family with food, or when the boys want to go out and you guys go and drink, you know, you're going to get fucking blacked out and you know, like you drank your calories, to say the least.
Yeah.
And, you know, that's a mistake. But what a lot of people don't also piece together is, when you go out and drink, you're probably more likely to overeat too. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So the hard gritty, because you guys are going to hear this show right before New Year's for 2021, and like 2021. I'm excited for 2021.
Me too.
Oh my goodness.
2020 was, you know, up and down, but there were ups, you know, I would say, and you could speak for yourself, but 2021 is about to be epic.
2021 through 2025.
Yes.
I think it's going to be pretty epic, to say the least. And now that's just speaking on my behalf.
You're right.
And I know exactly what you're talking about. And you're absolutely right. You're absolutely right. Yeah. But when the time comes, everyone will know that stuff.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
And there's things that I have that many don't know yet. And that's the key, right? The key is just to always be productive and move forward. And everyone listening to me knows that I've made mistakes publicly. I've made fucking, mistakes that are under scrutiny. And you know what? Just understand when you're setting your goals for 2021, even if you fuck up, you wake up the next day, you have another opportunity. Okay? Yeah, sure. Some of us might know the meaning of life and the end of life more than others, but that doesn't matter. You wake up, you have another opportunity to get back on. And I'm telling you, you're going to fuck up. You're going to make mistakes. You're going to fuck up. You're going to run your face into the wall. You're going to collapse. The things that you're wanting to do aren't going to happen. But if you look at it like you want to grow or you want to achieve that goal, more so than anything else, the temporary relief of overeating in this case, that's when you'll wake up the next day and just get right back on it. Just because you eat off your diet or your program for one meal doesn't mean that you fucked your future up. It just means that, all right, I can get better. And the consistency is key. And Mike and I were talking before the show, and he was mentioning that he was interviewed about the trials and tribulations of starting a podcast, which, speaking on that behalf, when it comes to goal setting, I've been asked probably about a dozen times in the past couple of months of how to start a podcast. And I mean, Mike, it's not easy. My friend and I Steve, he's been on this show. He interviewed me about the gym.
Yep.
I went to him and I'm like, bro,
yeah,
let's do this.
Yeah.
And we fucked it all up for like 2 months. We were trying to record the show on my Canon 80D with like the boom
mic.
Yeah, the boom mic.
As the audio?
Our audio was terrible.
Yeah.
It just wasn't good.
No.
And I wasn't going to release it.
Yeah.
So 2 months later, we haven't even put out a show yet. You understand? No show had come out because the audio was terrible. And I'm too nitpicky. When anything in my life, it's got to be damn near perfect or perfect.
Right.
So we finally figured out microphones and a computer. And I had no mic discipline. And the whole point is to get what's coming out of my fucking mouth into the microphone.
Literally.
Right? So there's a perfect one. We didn't know what we were doing. Our audio was terrible in the beginning. And I can say that for those of you that have listened from day one, are probably laughing right now because they know. And the point is, things, just because you set a goal, just because it's not perfect out the gate or you make mistakes or you fuck it up, just get back on it. Just be consistent and stop making excuses. Stop making excuses.
Facts.
Excuses are the easiest way to avoid your goals. You can come up with all the fucking excuses, all the excuses that you want. I could have told my friends that I wasn't going to drive across Massachusetts in a nor'easter to go snowboarding, that we're coming in from Connecticut, for 100 reasons, which, depending on who's analyzing the situation, might say it's probably the better choice. I gave my word. I'll be there.
Yeah.
Which means I'm going to come. I'm coming. I mean, I might be a little late.
Yeah.
But I'll be there. And I was the second one out of the three of us that showed up.
Nice.
They came in from Seymour, Oxford area. But the point is not to make excuses. You can make excuses in or out of all sorts of things. And if you limit the excuse making around achieving your goal, okay, the likelihood of you achieving the goal is much more likely. I mean, I don't have statistics.
It's simple. I mean, it's like 1 + 1 = 2.
Right.
Like, you can make any excuse in the book, and then you're going to look back 50 years later and be like, maybe I shouldn't have made excuses.
And it's, thank you for using that example of 1 + 1.
You're welcome.
People think that there's like this secret to success and wealth and like achieving goals. There's not. It's 1 + 1. It's stay consistent and keep going.
Yeah.
That's it. Like, guys, just don't quit.
Yeah.
Just don't quit.
It's so simple.
Like, just don't quit. Like, you're going to make mistakes. You're going to fuck it up. It's going to be hard. Your shit's going to happen. Just keep going. Just keep going. And I think once that kind of gets grasped, the fundamentals that get grasped, that, yeah, there's a lot of really good advice on memes on Instagram that are like one-liners, that it's really simple. It's really that simple. Just don't stop and just be consistent and stop making excuses.
I mean, if you think about it, that really is the difference right there. Like, there have been companies, for example, there was an Apple somewhere, right?
Yeah, it was a garage.
I'm just saying, there was someone who was trying to do an Apple.
Oh, yes. Yeah.
And he gave up, or she gave up.
Sure.
So what happened?
Yeah.
Steve Jobs. He did not give up. Even when he started Apple, he got fired by his own company that he created and came back and was like, wow.
Because I needed him back.
Yeah. I'm going to make you need me back.
Yeah, that was a good move.
Yeah. Yeah. But I'm just saying,
That was a
like,
really
that's
good
just
move.
a perfect example. Like, I always think about that. Because people don't really understand that. They see other people's success and then they like, oh, that can't be me. That's crazy.
Yeah, and guys, like, people that haven't quit, you know, like, using myself as an example, people that just meet me, see me for what I have and have done, like I have currently and have done, but I've been building my brand for 12 years, and you just fuck up and make mistakes and keep going. But you're right. It's just a matter of that, and there's no complicated way to explain to you guys how to set your goals and stay consistent for 2021. It's just a matter of you getting really clear on what you want, setting those goals, and just being consistent. And that's really all it is. Just consistency.
I agree.
Yeah.
I mean, it really is that simple. When do people really, and that's another thing, people don't really think about sitting down and setting goals. And you know what I mean? Writing them down.
Yeah.
Writing your goals down. You said it last podcast, write it down.
Yeah.
Professor Thorne, shout out Thorny, before Bellator, my first big gig as a camera op, he called me, he's like, what do you want to do? And I was like, I have some ideas. He's like, so write them down. Write them down. So, like, literally in front of my desk, you guys know my room, I have it right there.
Yeah.
5-year plan.
Yeah, you could see it every day.
Every day. And it's been, and then, like, now look at us here. From that moment on, now we're in here doing a studio podcast for the CW clinic.
You're producing my fucking show.
Yeah.
And doing a hell of a job at it,
Thanks,
too.
dude.
Everybody compliments me.
I'm glad. Wait until they see this promo.
Everybody compliments me. And you guys know me well enough. I'm just like, what, me? No, hold on a second. Like, let's talk about why the show looks so good, you know? So
It's two-way street. The content has to be good. You know what I mean? What you're saying has to be good.
Of course.
Or else they wouldn't like it.
I just tell them that I'm there to look pretty and say things.
Yeah.
That's all.
Literally.
At this point in my life anyways.
Yes.
Right, Paola? Yeah. We should put her on the microphone one of these days.
Oh, yeah. I'm sure she has a lot to say.
I'm sure she'll probably just make fun of me for 45 minutes straight. Yeah. It'd probably be really good for everybody.
Honestly.
You know, because we all fuck with each other.
Yeah.
Everybody fucks with everybody.
You have to.
Yeah. Yeah, she fucks with me. She tried to send out over an extra $100,000 at the bank before we got here. Did you hear about that?
You did tell me this. Tell the people.
It's all her fault, actually.
It is.
Yeah, every single. So we were gonna buy a watch. Let's say it was $12,000, and she tried to get them to send out $112,000 because she added an extra zero into the fucking signature line. Yeah.
That's why the show started a little bit later today, because he had to go fix the problem.
Well, we caught it before we left the bank.
Oh, good.
And I was like, I told the bank guy, I was like, you can fix this, right? And he's like, yeah, I'll fix it.
Yeah.
And it took him a while, but he fixed it, and we fired her for that mistake. Actually, now the truth, guys, is she's the only one who didn't sign the bank wire paperwork sitting in the room, including me, the bank teller, and the bank manager all signed off on an extra zero. So that could have been a pretty bad day.
This podcast would have been a little different.
This podcast wouldn't have happened. But you guys get me for, what's the 28th comes out?
Yeah.
The 28th, which is right before New Year's. And that's what's most important is you guys setting goals, all right? I want you guys to be setting goals, and I want you to be writing them down. And I really, really, really want you guys to understand that the difference between you accomplishing your goals and not is never giving up, staying consistent, and don't make excuses. That's it. If you set the goal and there's a time frame on it, you have a year for 2021. Reverse engineer it, figure it out. The example that I used is, say it's 2021, you're like, I'm going to lose this 20 pounds, all right? You're not going to be that guy or that girl or whoever that goes to the gym or starts home exercising for 2 weeks, okay? Straight on their diet and then fuck it up and then stop and fail and pity themselves because you made a mistake. Because mistakes aren't the problem. It's how you look at mistakes, which is the problem. Mistakes are an opportunity to learn. Understand it. Learn it. If you're going to lose 20 pounds and you want to lose a pound a week, that's 20 weeks of work. And things happen. So I want everyone to be accomplishing what they want for 2021. I want everyone to know that everybody, each and every one of you is powerful. Each and every one of you can accomplish your goals. Each and every one of you, it is your birthright to be wealthy. Every one of you understand that you can accomplish anything that you set your mind to. Anything. You can accomplish things that I can't. And I want everyone to win together. And I want you to take control of 2021. And I want you to get on your goals. And by the time you hear this, I'll have 2 days left to enter Dominate Your Day, my signature course and my second time running it. You don't need it. None of you need it. And I'm not telling you that you do. But if you want in, you're more than welcome. All right? The link's in my bio. Just follow that. And if you need the extra guiding hands, we're there for you. I wish everyone a healthy, prosperous, wealthy, abundant, fucking fantastic 2021. I'm absolutely killing it. And I want you guys to be too.
Hell yeah.
And on that note, I'll catch you in 2021. Go fucking get it.
Peace.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.